What's up, everyone? Garage 79R. Got the Spud on the left. And yes, I call them Spuds because Paseo, potato, Spud. That's just one of those things. Anyway, I might have blown it up with the new motor. I don't know. So, slaved all week, getting it done. Got it running Saturday. Everything was running really good. The motor sounded great. It ran better, it ran cooler, everything was doing as it's supposed to compared to the motor that was in the car. So, go out Saturday, start working on the tuning, start refining it. Had to turn the idle down because this motor was just so much, I guess, looser and better, versus the other one that felt like it was just chewing metal. So anyway, did some part throttle boost, and everything was going good. So I was like, all right, let's start working on getting into full throttle boost. And I did it a couple times briefly just to see where the wastegate was, because I changed the spring, but I didn't have it's an old wastegate and I wasn't sure how it's going to work out. So it ended up being 7 pounds. So I'm like, all right, good, that's plenty safe. And so go past my buddy's house. There's a nice little kind of slight uphill. Second gear, let's do it. 7 pounds of boost. AFRs are in the 10s, actually a little bit too rich, but that's fine. I'd rather be rich than not. And just going to start working on it. Then it starts sputtering and had that, WRX sound that you typically get with a blown head gasket. I just got done doing a round of testing. I did a compression check when I got it back to the shop. Luckily, my buddy Jerry was able to come out and just kind of follow me just in case I had issues. I was able to drive it back to the shop. It was only about 5 miles. And a preliminary compression check, it showed only had 40 pounds of pressure or compression in cylinder number 4. These motors tend to lift the number 4 ringland for whatever reason. So I'm like, oh crap, don't tell me it lifted a ringland. It shouldn't have. But granted, this is a very high mileage motor, and we're playing with the unknowns right now. I've done it in the past with a motor that had a little bit more mileage that never had issues until almost 300,000, but that doesn't mean that's the rule. Again, I don't know the whole history of the motor. So anyway, it's like, oh crap, I don't know. And, sent me down a spiral. Like, oh, how are we going to fix this? Because again, we're leaving in a couple days. So I borrowed, because I don't have one, I borrowed a coolant pressure tester. Checked that, everything's fine. Actually, I found out I had a slight pinhole in the one heater hose, so I'm going to have to replace that. But it holds pressure when I put my finger over the split. So it's not a head gasket. So I busted out the leak down gauge. And that was kind of alarming because it's got about 95% leak down. So when I did it, it barely, it'll get just into the red. It came right off of that line about there. And I was like, well, maybe I thought I double checked that, top dead center. Well, maybe the valves are cracked open or something. Rotated around, did it, a couple times, verify everything, then start working the crank back and forth with a breaker bar just to make sure the valve should be closed. And I kept getting noise out of the exhaust. So I'm thinking it did not lift a ringland. It did something with a valve. I don't know, maybe a valve broke, etc. Don't know. But right now everything's pointing to a valve issue. Okay. So I went ahead and rock auto, overnighted, some parts from China or wherever they come from. Got a head gasket kit from Victorine's, because that one has the proper metal gasket that these are supposed to have. And then I'm looking like I'm going to head off this motor, and that head's in okay shape and has replaced valve seals. So I'm thinking I'm going to put that head on this motor in the next couple of days. Because again, I still have to fully tune this car, and then we're driving it down to Tail the Dragon. And then on top of that, I need to sort out my brakes. I got to replace the flex lines and flush my system out. Not a big deal, and I'm going to do that today, actually, because this is about the only day I can afford to do that. So, parts are coming, and stress is high. I'm ready to set the whole car on fire at this point. Not really, it's just, of talking to Dustin, who owns the car. It's just the luck of the draw of old cars and dealing with old stuff. It's just, unfortunately, seems like everything that can go wrong every time is with this combination. So yeah, that's just where we're at, and I'm going to start diving into this after I get my car sorted today. And then when the parts show up tomorrow, hopefully I can have this thing maybe buttoned up Wednesday, and that gives us one day to just get it sorted, get it figured out, and get it down the road. So my tires and wheels came in. That's going to be the rear fitment on Earl. Because remember, I'm going very wide on the front. I'm going 245s on the front of Earl and on a 9-inch stem way up there. And these are a 15 by 8 on a 25, so I'll bring the wheel in just a little bit, and I'm going to run a 205 on the 8. So there's that. Because I sold my wheels and tires, my 15 by 8s with 225s. I sold to a guy up in Jersey, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, never ending, but hopefully this head we sort it out. We'll see when I get it apart. See you on the next one.